YouTube, we're talking college sports in the Deep South, where college football is king, and on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Talking a little bit about Auburn football. It is game day down in Arlen, Texas. After all these months, it's finally here. Auburn taking on the Oregon Ducks this afternoon at 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central. If you're on the West Coast, 4:30 on the West Coast for this particular football game. And I just want to go over real quick. But before I do that, go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. Some keys to victories, I think, for both teams, for both Auburn and Oregon. If these two teams are going to be successful, of course, somebody's got to win the game, and of course, somebody's got to lose. But we want to talk about some keys that will help each team be as successful as possible. First of all, we want to talk about the Oregon Ducks. Now, Oregon has unveiled their uniforms to start with. It's the Nike Fusion 2.0. I think it is Nike Fusion 2.0. Very, very nice uniforms. Vapor Fusion, Nike Vapor Fusion. It actually resembles the Oregon Football 2.0 uniforms that the Ducks wore in 2018, but it's got a few differences. Maybe you Oregon fans will notice the difference in the uniform. Talk about Oregon Ducks and their keys to victory in this particular game. Number one, they got to get a little bit more creative on first down. When you look at them on video footage, they like to run the ball a lot on first down. I think they need to attack some down the field. They need to take some chances on first down to limit down and distance situations, especially against Auburn, who gets really aggressive. Their defense gets really aggressive in third down and 7 or more. They put a lot of pressure on you. They take a lot of chances, actually. They bring all-out blitzes and things like that to get you off balance. I think that's something that Oregon is definitely going to have to do to manage this particular football game. Get in 3rd and 2, no more than 3rd and 4, and I think that will definitely help them in that standpoint. Number two, this offensive line that Oregon has to be as good as advertised in this particular game. They're going to have to get a push up front. Auburn is probably going to be the most athletic, probably the most physical defensive lines that they will play. Of course, Auburn has upgraded a lot linebacker-wise with speed and a little bit more agility. So it's going to be up to this offensive line to live up to its billing. Okay, and if they don't, if Auburn dominates the line of scrimmage on defense, it's going to be very difficult for Oregon to win this particular football game. Last but not least, Oregon boasts a Heisman Trophy candidate in Justin Herbert. But in some ways, his numbers hasn't always shown that, especially in the big games. And he's only had a couple of games where he's thrown over 300 yards, and that doesn't exactly spell Heisman Trophy candidacy. Justin Herbert is going to have to play a very solid football game. He's going to have to limit the mistakes, and he's going to have to be able to respond under the pressure that he's going to face with these Auburn Tigers on the defense. If the offensive line can hold their end of the deal and Justin Herbert can find a favorite receiver, it's looking like it's probably going to be Juwan Howard from the transfer from Penn State. I think Oregon will have some success in managing this football game and putting themselves in a position late possibly to win the game. But Justin Herbert is going to also have to be as good as advertised. He, didn't particularly play well statistically in some of the high consequence games from last year. So a key for Oregon is for Justin Herbert to justify his Heisman Trophy candidacy. Now, on the Auburn side of the football field, Auburn brings back arguably one of the best defensive lines in the country. Number one, these guys are going to have to play lights out. In order for Auburn to have some success in this particular football game, the defense has to get off to a good start, and that starts up front with Derek Brown, Marlon Davidson, Nick Cole, Tyrone Truesdale. Those guys are really going to have to play a great football game to set the tone for this season for the Auburn Tigers, because their defense is going to be what anchors them through the SEC stretch in late September, early October. Number two, don't limit Bo Nix. Let Bo Nix play his game. Don't, have this vanilla play call. Let him play his game. You put him as the starting quarterback. Let him play his game. No limitations on the playbook. Open it up. You have enough skilled players around you to make this thing happen. Let Bo Nix play the game. Let Bo Nix play a complete game without limitation. We remember the Clemson game, I think, from 2016. A complete debacle. Have a solid game plan offensively. Also for Auburn as well. Gus Malzahn's offense works very well when he stays ahead of down and distance. 2nd and 2, if second down and 2 or 3rd down and 3, if Auburn can maintain those type of down and distance, they will literally be unstoppable, because that's when the tempo starts. When Gus Malzahn has success on 1st down, that's when the tempo starts. That's when things become very desirable for Auburn and for Gus Malzahn as a coach. Also, special teams are very important for Auburn. It took a little bit of a step back last year. Had a couple of fumbles on punt returns. Had a couple of missed field goals. Things like that. I think Auburn really, really needs to make sure that their special teams are solid in this particular game to give themselves an opportunity to be successful. Anders Carlson has a strong leg, which could be to Auburn's advantage, but he's got to be more accurate. Only 60% last year. Also, Auburn wants to make sure that they're very solid at the punt return, because from what I've seen in games earlier this season, that particular position has been game-changing, as there have been several fumble punts, punt returns so far this season. So those are the pregame keys to success for both of these teams. I think both of these teams are positioned to have very successful seasons. Unfortunately, somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast, talking Auburn football like nobody else will. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone has a great time tonight down in Arlington, Texas. Enjoy the football game. War Eagle.